Many of you have seen the speech by Boris Johnson, the new Prime Minister of Britain. His first speech after becoming the British Prime Minister. From that speech, you can agree with me that there is a clear difference between servant leadership and the kind of emperor misleaders you have in Africa and Nigeria in particular, from the presidency to the lowest level of government. As far as Nigeria is concerned, the people you have in power are just emperors. Now, in case you have not watched his speech, I mean Boris Johnson, listen to him.
My job is to serve you, the people, because there is one point we politicians need to remember. It is that the people are our bosses. My job is to make your streets safer. And we're going to come in with another 20,000 police on the streets, and we start recruiting forthwith. My job is to make sure you don't have to wait 3 weeks to see your GP. And we start work this week with 20 new hospital upgrades and ensuring that the money for the NHS really does get to the front line. My job is to protect you or your parents or grandparents from the fear of having to sell your home to pay for the costs of care. And so I am announcing now on the steps of Downing Street that we will fix the crisis in social care once and for all with a clear plan we have prepared to give every older person the dignity and security they deserve. My job is to make sure your kids get a superb education wherever they are in the country, and that's why we have already announced that we're going to level up per pupil funding in primary and secondary schools. And that is the work that begins immediately behind that black door. And though I am today building a great team of men and women, I will take personal responsibility for the change I want to see. Never mind the backstop, the buck stops here.
You heard him. You can attest from his speech. He already had a plan, a clear plan, precise plan of what he's there to do. And I tell you, he has spoken like a servant leader. And what struck my mind is when he said, it is the people that are the bosses. But, Mr. Prime Minister, I want to tell you that the people you thought democracy, it is a complete opposite of what you're saying. I mean Nigeria. Oh yes. You thought them democracy, but what they are practicing is democracy, as Fela rightly put it. Teacher, don't teach me nonsense. And when teacher teach and student make mistake, it is the responsibility of the teacher to tell the student you make a mistake. But in this case, I've not seen Britain sit up to live up to that responsibility, to tell and to punish whatever way they had to, whether through sanction or whether through anything, to punish these political criminals, because criminality is a crime you commit against the state, and the state here is the people. And these politicians have been committing crimes against the people who are actually the state. Now we be government. I mean the people, now them be government. But the people where they inside government don't become the boss over the people. You see, I have been following this last screening, ministerialist. Boris Johnson, let me go back to him again, because he's the point of my, reference today. Boris Johnson, it took him only 10 hours. Within 10 hours, he had already appointed his cabinet, those that will work with him. He has already, defined clear action plan, precise, of what they want to achieve.
Well, good morning, everybody, and it is wonderful to see this new team assembled here, reflecting, I think, the depth and breadth of talent in our extraordinary party. And as you all know, we have a momentous task ahead of us, at a pivotal moment in our country's history. We are now committed, all of us, to leaving the European Union on October the 31st, or indeed earlier. No ifs, no buts, but we're not going to wait until October, doing everything we can to unite our amazing country. That is the agenda on which we're all. I hope that we will put our shoulders to the and pull together. Thank you all very much.
But in Nigeria, it took the Baba way the Asorok for God know how long to recycle the same people that he had been with over the years. It took him all this while from the Wambeme election, February, the Wambeme inauguration, May. What is today's date? You can attest to that. It took him all these months for him to come up with the recycled politicians that has contributed little or nothing from their past positions in government. Because it is either, like I said earlier, from minister to governor, from governor to senate, from senate to vice president, from vice president, eventually president, from president. This is how they recycle themselves. Yeah? And the problem there is that they recycled total failure, absolute failure, monumental failure. That is what they recycle. And somebody made a post that actually was funny. When he said that, he said in that post that the Senate actually gave Boo Boo ultimatum, I think 5 days ultimatum to provide his ministerial list. So he hurriedly presented to the Senate the list that has already been prepared to go for EFCC investigation. That was very funny actually, because the kind of people you saw there, man, these are pure corruption candidates. I say it and I beat my chest. These are men that have been indicted or under investigation or suspects of corruption, running into billions from their various political offices that they have occupied before. This is the same people that took our Mr. Integrity months to bring into his team so that they will continue the next level of their change. And Nigerians soon got what result, the kind of change you have had so far. Now, talking about corruption and the EFCC, Rochas Okorocha has been in the light, for obviously negative reasons. EFCC selling up some of his properties that he acquired, the ones that he converted, probably public property and all that. You all know the news. Good. Honestly, I want to tell you this. I'm not a fan of Rochas Okorocha, and I will never be in the nearest future, as long as this trend continues like this. But I must say the truth the way it is. I'll start from the Imo State government. I will start with an advice. I know from what I've been following, at least you are packaging yourself in such a way that I admire. You don't run into flamboyant and all this accolade kind of governorship and all that. You are starting well. But I want to advise you, in your mission to recover all the stolen funds by your predecessor, please don't allow it to distract you from doing the right thing. The right thing being that focusing on the imminent need of the Imolites that voted you in. That is one. Then number two, you see all these properties, especially the school, Rochas Foundation, that is built, is alleged that it is built on a government property, and other properties that are under investigation. Those ones, I mean the school, and if there are any other one, because I don't know about every other ones, please, as long as it is for public interest, do not allow EFCC to sell off that school and push those children out. I'm saying my mind. let that school, while under investigation, let that school continue to run under the control of the government until the case is decided. And if the case is found that Rochas Okorocha is guilty as charged, good, the whole property can be converted into state property and also be utilized for the benefit of, because this money is alleged, and I believe strongly that they were all gotten from public fund. So this issue of destroying some of those things or shutting them down and all that, it is not going to work well. That is my own advice on that. Now, to all these primitive accumulators of wealth, I want to tell you, like I said, I am not a fan of Rochas Okorocha, but I admire his kind of corruption in this scenario, that he stole the public fund and invested it in his own state. At least in his own state. The only difference there is that the money, the proceeds of the money, or the money that was used to invest those things, were diverted funds from public purse, and now the proceeds of those investments will be going back into his personal pocket. I understand that perfectly. Good. But at least he was patriotic enough to invest it in his home state, at least some of them that we have seen. What of you, senator? What of you, governor? What of you, political appointee, that have diverted funds from your various states and have invested it outside your state? Some of you in Abuja, some of you in Lagos, and many of you abroad. What will we call you? That is unpatriotic criminals, at least. Unpatriotic, corrupt public officials. At least Rochas Okorocha has, to an extent, demonstrated that he's a patriotic, corrupt politician. I am not telling you to steal money and invest in your own state too, because all those money must be recovered and be put into the benefit of the people, to be put to good use to benefit the people and not to enrich your pocket. That is my own take on that. And as a way of wrapping this thing up, you have to agree with me, like I said from the beginning of this video, that those you say that are your political leaders are your emperors. And I've warned earlier, before now, I think some months ago, where I was saying that if we close our mouth and leave these things to continue, very soon, they will knock at your door, bring you out and your family. You go to their farmland to farm, you go to their factory to work for free, you go to do their own bidding without any payment, and that will be your own thing for you to eat, for you to go out to work, or for you to earn your salary. Thus, we will return back to the dark ages of slavery. We are not even talking about colonization. Now, the dark ages of slavery. I send them to go to the plantation, you carry people, force them into hard labor. That is exactly what is going to start happening if we allow this trend to continue among politicians. Nami talkam. But the difference between what you are seeing in Western countries, what you are seeing in Europe, what you saw from the speech of Boris Johnson, the difference between those people there, those countries, and here is the people, the attitude of the people. The people over there understood the powers they have. That if government do not represent their aspiration in their programs and projects, they will storm the street, they will bring everything, they bring it to a standstill. They will all come out. Because now them be government. But here, no. People see government policies and programs towards them as a privilege. No, it is your right. You have to demand for it. If they don't perform it, you have the right to flush them out, because they are there to serve you and not to serve them. But the reverse is the case. They have succeeded in stampeding themselves on the people. They have succeeded in breaking the soul of the society, that the society have become, vulnerable to everything they wish, and that is why they do anything and get away with it. Until the Nigerian people rises up to the expectation, rises up to their responsibility, rises up to stand up for their right, things will continue to go wrong. Now we be government. The Yoruba people will do the words, go back to your homeland and start fixing your problem. I will not from Biafran land go to Yoruba land to help and fix your problem. No. I will not from Biafran land go to Arewa land to fix their problem. No. It is the people right there that is supposed to fix their problem. That is what democracy is all about. Democracy is defined as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Okay, good. Let your democracy start from your homeland, by your people, for your people. That is what it's supposed to be. Go back home and start fixing your homeland. We in Biafran land, we're already doing the same. And that is why you have to join the campaign of Now We Be Government. Now We Be Government is also I would say it is an offshoot of the campaign of our Mumu Don't Do during the election. Now it is Now We Be Government. Now We Be Government. Be say you have to stand up and fix your homeland and join the political revolution of PRM. All these things that I'm calling out here, they are platforms for the people to organize themselves. They are the platforms that have already been set for people. It is a campaign. It is a campaign to make sure that we fix our homeland and the people to get the right governance. In Biafran land, that is my major interest. I'm not interested. Call me ethnic bigot, whatever you want to call it. Charity begins at home. No be me talking. We the Biafrans, while pursuing for self-determination, which is obvious and the right of our people too, we must ensure that our homeland is free from dubious, occultic, wicked political leaders. Our children must continue to go to school while we pursue for self-determination. Our young ones have to be engaged profitably in active employment or economic activity while we pursue for self-determination. We are not all going to die because of bad healthcare service delivery. We have to have good healthcare service delivery, and that will happen if we have the right government while we pursue for self-determination. Our life will not come to a standstill because we are pursuing self-determination for my people. And you have to understand that, because when I'm saying this, some people may not understand that. And that is why I try to take my time to explain all these things to you. Each of the platforms I mentioned, Now We Be Government, is a campaign that will have to go into your subconscious mind to understand that government is not doing you a favor, that you are actually the government. You have to mobilize your people out there to change your attitude. Now, the political movement, PRM, People's Restoration Movement, is to restore the dignity of humanity, to restore sanity in governance. This is a movement. It is not built around any individual. It is not me, it is the people's movement. Good. You have to join this movement. You call the number you're seeing on the screen, join the movement. Anywhere you are, don't even report to me. Organize yourself and put it out. Start organizing people to stand up against this impunity in government. That is the only hope you have. My people, we are doing same here. Identify with PRM. Call the numbers on the screen and be part of this movement. This is a revolution, and that is where I'll be wrapping it up. But before I go, I want to tell you this. I saw a video, and that video concerned me, but I'm not going to play it all out here. This young man you're seeing on the screen, it happened in Akwa Ibom. A local government chairman, so I heard, because the guy made a post on Facebook criticizing them. That was how they punished the guy. I'm not going to bring out I don't bring every nonsense on this platform. But if you want to watch that video, what they did to that guy, click on this link above. That link that pop up, click on it and watch. And you will understand what I'm saying. So it is high time we all sit up. Because injustice to one is injustice to everyone. And if you don't fight for it, if you don't fight injustice where you see it, it will chop up your head. No be me talk am. Na Oputa of blessed memory and tell his own. Charles Oputa, area father, Charlie boy. I thank you. He has been my mentor. And also, Fela, they have inspired me a lot. And I will continue on this track until the people are free. Thank you for watching. That is why I'll be, wrapping it up. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing. We are still in need of drone and other media equipment. We don't have the funds. We don't have enough funds. We admonish you to please help BVI to continue being the voice of the people, because that is what we are, the last hope of the voice of a common man. Goodbye and God bless you.